Hi guys, Ralph Nogue here, creator of the Ditch. If you're wondering what that clothesline has to do with Kohan's interview, stick around. If you're not interested in finding out what the clothesline has to do with Kohan's interview, I'll actually put in the description here somewhere the timestamp to go and watch his full episode. But I just had a realization actually last night when I was trying to finalize Kohan's video and I was having issues with it. There's probably a good reason why I was having issues with it. I haven't actually probably explained what the actual episode is and the actual series is about. So the Ditch I created hang out some clothes, and it revolves around me doing interviews with people that travel across from New Zealand or from Australia to New Zealand, across the Tasman Sea, or crossing the Ditch, which is a common term sort of known in this part of the world. Having conversations with these people over a coffee or at a cafe. So that's kind of the concept of the show. And I'll probably do more content around doing a proper introduction with each episode. But in case you're wondering why the actual podcast series is called The Ditch, that's kind of the creation of it. But it's great to actually do Kohan as the first episode because he's got a great story to tell, being a junior All Black and how he came to play at my club, the South. So no better person to sort of chat about, I guess, his journey across the ditch back and forth and his journey. And enjoy Kohan's episode.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Good to see you again.
You too.
But bro, just to kick things off, cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for the coffee.
That's all right. Caramel latte.
Yeah.
A
Bit different.
bit different.
Yeah,
I want to sort of start off by sort of chatting about your earliest memory of playing rugby. When did that when you first start playing rugby?
Oh, God. I think I was 6, maybe 5 or 6. I started playing for Nerang Bulls on the Gold Coast.
Okay, you're a GC boy.
Yeah, GC boy. I grew up there. I was born there. The hospital that's now demolished.
Okay.
But my earliest memories is probably playing tackle when I was about 6 on the Gold Coast on the back fields.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
who's your first club there, sorry?
Yeah, so my first club was Nerang Bulls.
Yep.
Still pretty loyal to them.
Yep.
Hopefully one day I can play for them in the future. Probably after my career, I'd like to finish off there maybe.
Okay, cool.
But they've been my family club for the last 25 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
That is a while.
Yeah.
So you've had a bit of a journey.
Yeah, I had a very
from there.
different journey, yeah.
So what sort of happened, those first few years, you're starting out, when did because you moved around a fair bit.
Yeah.
So you sort of talk about some of your movements, especially around that younger period of your life.
When I was younger or when I was obviously early 18?
Oh, no, just like in general, when you started playing, I guess taking it to a serious level, so to speak. And I guess when people think of serious level, they think like schoolboy rugby.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I would say maybe, that's a hard one. 14, 15?
Yes.
Because I played league for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
another leaguey.
Yeah, another leaguey. So I started rugby when I was 7.
Yeah.
Played that till I was about 9 or 10.
Yep.
Then, funny enough, the club that I went to is just across the railway. So my club in the Gold Coast it's like that. Then there's a railway line. Then the league club was over there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
literally draw the line.
Literally, yeah. So my sister played there. My older brother played there. Then I eventually went there when I was about 10, and I stayed there till I was about maybe 15.
Okay.
But I started playing rugby again when I was 14. So I was playing rugby league on Friday nights, then rugby on Sunday.
So why the decision to play both ways at the same time?
I guess all my mates played rugby as well, but all my schoolmates played league. So I was just stuck in between, and it wasn't hard to go training early for rugby league, then straight over there after that and go play rugby. So yeah, I did that for about 3 years, I'd say.
Yep.
And then had a conversation with the old man, and he said, you got to choose one. And I just thought, he played all over the world for rugby, so I thought it was his name's Kohan Herbert. He goes by Bushy on the Gold Coast, but he played for King Country and NPC in New Zealand in the late 80s, early 90s. He played about 56 games for them. And yeah, travelled around the world, played in Wales. He didn't play professionally, but with rugby it can take you all over the world. So he just played everywhere.
I'm glad you sort of touched on that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reason for this particular show, the ditch.
Yeah.
I think there's a curiosity from my perspective as someone that's involved in sport, from a media standpoint, and seeing the number of people that travelled, especially between, I guess, Australia and New Zealand to play the sport. So the fact that your father himself has had the experience as a non-professional player, I've got to travel and play the games.
Yeah, he did. He got paid for it too, but that's before it was professional as well. So he played. Yeah, I think he played in Wales in the early '90s.
Okay.
And just played club over there. Lived over there for 2 years. I think he played in England. But yeah, he just played for the love of it. Maybe got, I don't know, a couple $100 for the year maybe. But yeah, he just worked and played footy, and he took them all over the world.
But it's something that he's obviously really good.
Yeah, exactly. He loved it, and he still loves it now. I think he's 59 and he still plays third grade. So.
Is it really?
Yeah, he has a jam, and he plays old boys whenever they play. They just had my club just had their 40th, so he played in that with all the old boys. But yeah, he still plays. If we go to Bali or a tens tournament anywhere in the world, he'll play. He just loves it. It's ridiculous, but he loves it.
So how many games did he racked up with the Hools?
Oh,
What's the record?
they don't really count games over there, but I would say he's played multiple games every year for the last 25 years. So it's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
We'll put some things in perspective. When you play that many games, you're still trying to pursue it, even at his age. But that's crazy. So obviously, you chose the union.
Yeah, I chose rugby union.
So what happened then? As far as you started to develop as a player, I'm assuming, and then you started to move around to play it more seriously. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I was at Keeper Park from 2012 to 2015, and that's obviously a league school, a highly prolific league school. And I had a chat to my old man, said I was going to play rugby more seriously. Then I moved to a school called Pacific Pines. They had a rugby program on the Gold Coast, and it wasn't the best one. Then Garrick Morgan got a hold of me and said, "Do you want to come to Downlands for 2 years?" And I moved.
What year was that?
I moved to Downlands in 2016, so I was there for 2 years, so 2016, 2017.
So how did Garrick find you?
Well, he coached my older brother, and obviously Garrick was on the Gold Coast for a few years and had connections with my old man as well. Then, one thing led to another, and I ended up at Downlands 2016. Didn't want to go at the start because I was about to finish high school and had a lot of mates on the Gold Coast, but I'm glad I took the opportunity and went to Downlands.
So what was it about Downlands that changed your mind?
Oh, I don't think it was in terms of the people. I think it was just the opportunity. Like, Gary, I know Downlands wasn't a high up there rugby school, but he just said, "Mate, you're going to be playing against GPS schools that can put you out there." And I was young and I just needed the opportunity, so I trusted Garrick, and it worked out well. But I loved it at Downlands. I really loved it there.
Okay. So good experience.
Yeah, really good experience. I made friends with people I thought I'd never make friends with. Obviously, it's quite a country school, and made lifelong friends with people.
That's the thing, it's funny because I went to a school in Warwick called Scots BGC College, and
I know Scots. I played with them.
It's funny that the number of the coastal boys that made mates with country boys.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I've obviously grew up on the Gold Coast my whole life. Went with people who are from the city, and I met people from Gympie, Warwick, Roma, Rockhampton, all over the place, and they're really good mates. Like, really good people too. Like,
country boys are great.
They're good people.
A mate of mine is, I've known for years. He lives not too far from where I am, but I've known him, for 30 plus years.
Yeah, exactly.
But I totally get that. So, how did you find being in that school? How did that help you propel your career in terms of rugby?
Well, I think it gave me a sense of professionalism because I was boarding there as well, so I had to obviously learn to be by myself, be a young adult, and obviously look after myself a lot better. And the training was up there was quite professional with Garrick. Obviously, he's quite a professional person, and obviously you're playing against the best schools in Queensland, so it took my level of rugby higher to play them. And I worked hard. We had early morning trainings just like everyone else, but I think Garrick really brought that professionalism into me, just making me work hard.
So So how did that translate? Because it's sort of like, I'm going to say propels you. You got to your point where you're getting started based from, I guess, your motherland, so to speak.
Yeah, mother. Well, yeah, it is.
So tell me about your motherland.
Oh well, parents are everyone in my family is from New Zealand. That's the funny part. I'm the only one in my family who, well, I'm an Australian citizen, got an Australian license, got an Australian passport, so technically I am Australian. But yeah, my parents are both from New Zealand. Whole family's from New Zealand, dad and mum's side. So yeah, for me to go back there and play, it was always something I wanted to do, but I didn't expect it to do it so young.
So when did you leave? So to what point did you leave Downlands and you get to sort of go back home technically?
So I finished Downlands in November of 2017.
Yep.
Finished school. I was with the Reds under 20s, just like doing their little trainings. Then I went back to New Zealand for Christmas of 2017, just for a holiday. And yeah, I thought nothing of it. Then a guy over there who was in Bay of Plenty heard that I was coming over and got hold of me and just said, "Hey mate, do you want to come play sevens in the Mount just for a couple of weeks?" 1 week. So yeah, Dad dropped me off there and I stayed up there for a week. And once that was all done, he just said,
Who invited you?
his name's James Porter.
Okay, so who's James? So I'm like.
Yeah, you're all good. So James Porter at the time was he was a trainer of the Bay of Plenty under 19s. This was back in 2018. He's currently I think he's one of the backs coaches of, or maybe assistant coach of the Bay of Plenty Steamers now,
Yep.
who I played for as well. But yeah, he got word that I was coming over. In the first, I tried actually once I left school to see if Waikato wanted me,
Yep.
but they didn't want me.
Yep.
So it happens.
It happens.
Then he got word of that. Then yeah, got a hold of my dad. Then I stayed up there for a week, got to train with them, played a sevens tournament. And the day I was leaving, he said, "Mate, we'd love to have you over here for the under 19s program. Have a think about it and let us know." Then yeah, went back to Australia. 2 weeks later, I'm moving to New Zealand.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
So what was the decision to move back? To move to New Zealand?
Oh, I think it's just purely on how they were at that time in the world and how everyone is going. And obviously Dad played over there for so many years and he said it was always something I should do as a kid. And yeah, took the opportunity and yeah, I was living in New Zealand.
So when you say under 19, what under 19?
So I don't think they have it anymore. I think it's under 20s. I don't even know if they have under 20s. But at the time, it was a tournament called Jock Hobbs.
Yeah.
So it was an under 19s tournament with every province in New Zealand.
Okay.
And it's a 1 week tournament in September. New Zealand Rugby used to pump about $1 million into it. And yeah, you play against other provinces. You play about three pool matches and obviously semis, then final, and it's televised on Sky Sport. And we actually won that tournament in 2018. Yeah, so it was a really good tournament. The highlights are on YouTube if you want to watch it. But
Shout out.
yeah, shout out to Sky Sports YouTube. But yeah, we ended up winning that. So yeah, that was a hell of an experience. And
Okay. So what did you get out of the game? I mean that competition.
the competition, I think it was just the week that was of the tournament, just how they look after you and how New Zealand Rugby treat their obviously players. And we had seminars on concussions, health, drugs and sport, and just a week of learning. But obviously you had to play footy the Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that week they really looked after us, and it was a really good tournament. And I think that also propelled my rugby to get me on the main stage of Sky Sports.
Okay. So from there, what was next in your?
So after that, because I was just working, playing club footy over there, we came back, and how they did it back then was you get invited to the New Zealand under-20s camps. They pick a certain amount of players from the Jock Hobbs tournament.
This is like the junior Wallabies.
Yeah, this is similar to Junior Wallabies, how they do it. I think they run it a bit differently over here. But we did that. We played that tournament.
So just to go for
Yeah, it's train. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so we did that. Then we got invited to under-20s tournament. No, under-20s camp. So New Zealand under-20s camp, sorry. And you get it. Yeah, Junior Wallabies camp. So it was in Palmerston North.
So it was like All Blacks.
Yeah, All Blacks under-20s, yeah. So You do a 3-day camp down in Palmerston North at their training facilities. You get down there, do testing, do training sessions, and then at the end of the day 3, you get put into teams and you play against, obviously, other teams. At that time, we played Hurricanes Development and the other team played Chiefs Development. Then, yep, you go back to your province, keep working. Then,
So I guess, like from your perspective, you're a young player and you get invited to this opportunity.
yeah.
Like, how did that make you feel?
Oh, it was a bit of a shock, to be honest, because, my first year, I was only over there for, 8 months when I got told. So, finished that tournament, got told, and I was like, bit of a shock, but I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't think I was going to eventually make the team. I just thought, this is an awesome opportunity. I am eligible. Go give it my best shot. And then, one thing led to another, and I got invited back to the next camp, which was in March. And that was kind of the deciding camp. And I thought to myself, I actually have a chance here. There's not many 7s. And knuckled down and had a good camp. And I think they gave us about 3 weeks of waiting. And they don't, until they name the team, they call you on the day of the naming. So obviously similar how do they do it over here. And I was at work and they just said, keep your phone on, ready to go. And about 6 hours into work, I got a call. And I told work that I might be getting a call, either I'm going to make it or I'm not going to make it. So I got a call, went downstairs, it was the coach, and he said, hey mate, and I was like, oh God, we're going to take you for the Oceania comp. And at that time I was like, so thankful. Then called the old man and started crying. I just thought, like, what an awesome opportunity. He started crying on the phone, doesn't cry much. But then went upstairs and told work and they were all cheering for me, then kept working for the rest of the day. So it was a high, but I had to go back to work. So, but it was an awesome, once I got that phone call, I was just like, wow, I'm in the team.
Well, that's the thing, like it's, having a life-changing, because I think for me, you get to play for your country, especially for Australia, or in particular, if you're an All Blacks.
Yeah.
You're playing for the All Blacks, even at a junior level. That's a huge honour.
Yeah, it is.
So how did you, like you said, obviously your family was pretty emotional about it. What happened from there, like as a result of that?
Well, we had another camp once the team was named. Then, funny enough, the tournament was at Bond University. So, for me to represent New Zealand and my first tournament be on the Gold Coast was quite an awesome experience. Because I knew it was the Oceania tournament was at Bond University. But as I said, I never thought I would play for New Zealand. But the first tournament was in the Gold Coast. And every single game I got to have family come watch me play. They didn't have to travel anywhere. They only had to travel down the road. And we played Fiji, Japan and Australia, funny enough. And it's just strange because we played Fiji. I knew a couple of boys in there. We played Japan. Obviously didn't know anyone in the Japanese team. But when we played Australia, it was just really strange because 2 years prior to that, I was playing Australian schoolboys with pretty much the whole team. 2 years later, I'm playing under 20s against my prior teammates that I played for a different country with. But that was just an awesome experience. Even though we lost that game, just to play on the Gold Coast, to perform the haka on the Gold Coast and play against my old mates was just something I'll never forget.
Well, that's the thing, like I said, it's a huge honour to represent the country. But I think the way that the world looks at, especially the All Blacks, and there's I think overall, obviously some of our viewers may disagree, but I think historically, All Blacks have still been seen as the standard in terms of international rugby for a long period of time. So, coming from that high, obviously representing, what happened next in his career?
Once the tournament was done, we obviously went to the World Cup. Didn't have a successful World Cup. I think we came 7th that year, worst ever finish for a New Zealand under 20s team. We copped a lot of hate, unfortunately, but as you said, being from a New Zealand rugby team, your standard is so high, and I think when we failed in that World Cup, it was such a shock to New Zealand rugby and everyone around the world, and we copped a lot of obviously criticism for it, but it didn't really concern any of us because we just did what we did and we played for our country and we obviously gave it our best. But once that was done, I had about a week off, and I was back to being a normal civilian and back to work and back to training for my club in New Zealand. Then you go from such a high back to a low, I guess.
So how do you sort of bounce back from that?
I guess you just have to stay motivated because for me, I knew I was good enough to play at the next level. But after that tournament, I didn't get signed by my NPC team, which was Bay of Plenty at the time. So that was quite a bummer. I think there was 7 of us that made the team from Bay of Plenty. 5 of them were backs, 2 of us were forwards, and all the backs got signed, but me and the other forward didn't get signed. So we just had to go back to club footy, keep working. Then
what year was this?
This was 2019. But eventually we made the Bay of Plenty development team. And then we played that out for the rest of the year. Then I think in 2020, obviously the COVID year, at the start of the year we were fortunate enough to get told that a team called China Lions was going to partner with Bay of Plenty Rugby and Global Rugby, the Rapid Rugby, the one that the Force owner made. And I was lucky enough to play for the China Lions. It's a bit obviously strange because none of us were Chinese, but we played in that game. We played in Fiji for the one game.
Yep.
Then COVID happened.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think those little. It'd be interesting to sort of see what would happen if COVID didn't hit that particular tournament at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And see how it sort of like would have changed rugby in a way, because it's one of those things that if you had the opportunity to actually take off, then it might be in a different situation.
Yeah,
like right now.
Exactly. Yeah, like I think that competition had been running for about 3 or 2 years, and obviously Force won every single tournament, and we were supposed to go to Malaysia the following day after we beat Fiji in Fiji.
Yep.
And they said there's a virus, and we didn't know, uncertainty. But then the tournament got binned, the whole season got cancelled, and I was in lockdown in New Zealand for 8 weeks.
What did that experience though like give you? Like, did it give you a bit of a taste for travel and play for rugby as a?
Yeah, it does. Like I think we experienced it for a week, and just the sense of like happiness you get. Like you work so hard for it, then you're like, I'm a professional rugby player. I can call myself a professional. This is what I do for a job.
Absolutely.
This is what I do for a job. Then you're traveling, you're playing footy, you're getting looked after, you're getting free kit. How good? Then God, how good's free kit? Then and you're just like, this is what I trained hard for. This is what no one sees what I did to get to this position, and for it to get taken away just like that was a bit crazy, and haven't really got back to that taste of professional yet, but obviously it's something I do want to get back to.
So let's sort of touch on that, because obviously post-COVID we're going into 2021.
Yeah.
So what's happening in your life around that period?
At the end of 2020 we got to play club again, which was awesome. Still didn't. I had an opportunity to play NPC, I think, but I broke my hand at the end of 2020, unfortunately. So I had to get surgery. Then that ruled me out. Then 2021, had a good pre-season, and over there you just play club footy. Then got a call one day while I was at work saying the Bay of Plenty Steamers are going to sign you on a 2-year deal in the NPC competition. So that was good. Like that was obviously a very high because I was working very hard for that. And I played Bay of Plenty in 2021. I got to debut against Wellington, and I played a couple more games. Didn't really get as much time as I wanted. I worked hard for it, but I think I was still young and obviously unprofessional, and didn't get my opportunity. And
so what was it? What weren't you being professional?
I couldn't take criticism well, I think, at that time in my career. Just the things I thought I was doing right, I wasn't doing right apparently. So I just disagreed with that, and that kind of didn't go in my favour. Kind of backfired on me. But then After 2021, I think I lost the love for footy, just how that season went, and I took about 10 weeks off at the end of 2021, and had a good hard think about what I wanted. And, stayed away from the gym, stayed away from anything footy related, just stuck to myself, and I did running to keep me occupied. Just went back to work then. Started 2022, had a good pre-season with my club, and they kind of brought the love back for footy for me.
Yeah, but you had a great season with the old club.
Yeah, I think 2022 I got named captain, which was an awesome. I got to share it with one of my good mates over there, Carlos Price, and I think that gave me a good sense of leadership. And
because that's the thing, you sort of mentioned the fact that you feel like you're unprofessional.
Yeah.
But then then I'm just trying to work out, why do they name you captain? Like what sort of change within you do you think that they would name you captain? Like what would some of the things people would mention?
Oh yeah, I don't know, because it was kind of like the captain who was captain stood down because he was captain for 5 years, and I was one of the leaders in the group already. Yeah. But obviously I never thought that I would become captain of the team. And I was one of the highest capped, surprisingly, and I was only on about 38 caps because over there everyone's quite young. Yeah. But yeah, he just said, we need a new captain. You and Carlos are probably the leaders. You've had a taste of professional rugby, so I think you guys can bring that to the team. And yeah, I loved it. I love being captain of that team. It kind of brought it helped me become a better leader.
Do you think it sort of helped you fall in love with the game again?
Yeah, it did, and I think I love that club over there. They treated me very well, looked after me, and I think being the leader of that team, everyone's eyes are on you, so you just take that and you're just like I love this, and yeah, I definitely think that brought a sense of professionalism back into me. Yep. And yeah, fell in love with the game, and yeah, had a really good club season. Ended up winning the comp, which was it was awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play in the final because of rep commitments. Yeah, it was tough. I played every single game leading up to that, but unfortunately, on the day of the final, we had a pre-season game for Bay of Plenty, so I had to play that. But we played the game in the morning. I got back to watch the last 60 minutes of my club win it. So yeah, I still say I won the final because I played in every single game. But yeah, didn't get to play in the final, but yeah, I celebrated like I played. So.
No, like you said, there's players out at the moment, with the Colts boys that, so they're a big part of the reason why they sort of make it to a major semi-final, like they're minor premiers.
Yeah, exactly.
LinkedIn in particular. He's one of those impact players that, fortunately, due to injury, he didn't
can't play
on the weekend. So,
yeah.
But sort of going back to being in New Zealand for that period of time, you feel pretty established, would you say? Yeah, I
was very established. I was in the same spot for nearly 5 years. Work was 5-minute walk.
So
Club.
What do you love about living in New Zealand for?
Where I lived, it was a place called Mount Maunganui. Yeah. If you search it up, it's a very beautiful place. Yeah. Quite similar to the Gold Coast. Yeah. I think everywhere that I was, it was just situated really quiet town. It's getting busier now. But yeah, my club was 2 minutes away from where I lived. Where I trained was 30-second walk. Where I worked was 5-minute walk. I think I was just comfortable and I loved it there. For 5 years, I thought I'm never going to leave this place, but obviously I have.
So explain to that decision. How did things change when you sort of obviously ended up here in Brisbane, Australia?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I played under 19s over there. I was only supposed to stay for a year. That was my plan. Stay for a year, go back to Australia. But stayed for a year, made under 20s, stayed on for another year, and stayed on for another 3 because I loved it so much. And I think at the end of last year, I didn't get re-signed for my contract, and I obviously did what I did and did what I wanted to do to win the premiership with my club. That was my goal. And I didn't really have any more goals over there that I wanted to tick off. then yeah, Garrick got a hold of me because I kept in contact with Garrick over the 5 years because he was my coach at school, and he just said, mate, I'm gonna go coach at South. We would love to have you. And I said, okay, I'll have a think about it. And yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, had to think about it, and I just talked to my old man, talked to my old lady, and yeah, I just thought coming back to Australia would be a good time. How old was I? I think I was 23 when I made the decision, so I just thought I'll come back.
To Australia?
Yeah.
Why come back to Australia?
I guess I heard good things about the Premier Rugby over here, and I heard every game's on Stan, so it's good. Good exposure. My manager is an old boy of the club, Brett Piccone, so he said, come back, mate. Have a good crack at it and see what you can do. And that was kind of the turning point. I had nothing over in New Zealand anymore, so I just thought, nothing's holding me back. I got nothing to lose. I'm young. Come back, give it a crack.
So, at what point did you have conversations about becoming captain?
Probably pre-season, because I missed out on all the pre-season, and obviously November, December, I moved over on the 13th of January this year, and I didn't expect to be captain. I just wanted to come over here and give it a good crack, and Garrick had a yarn to me, and all the other coaches had a yarn to me, and just said, mate, look, your leadership's obviously pretty good. You've played at a high level, and I think the boys will follow you and would like to make you captain. And I was like, I didn't want to. The reason of not deciding that I didn't want to be captain at the start was, I don't know anyone in this club.
Yeah.
I don't want to intrude anything.
Yeah, like coming from a supporter's perspective, when Garrick told me you were captain, I said, who's this kid?
Exactly. Oh, God, the amount of conversations I've had about people saying that.
What does Garrick sort of come up saying, this guy's going to be captain? And I think within the first 2 games says, okay, this guy's the fucking captain. So I have a lot of faith in what Garrick says now, because I think the thing for me is that there is a lot of skepticism about you taking on that role, because we're going through, I guess, a phase within the club where we need a bit of stability, but to have someone that I personally had never seen play, knew nothing about, and to sort of come in and sort of taking over that captaincy role, it's probably a huge decision. But mate, you've really, honestly, bro, you've really.
Thanks. I
think from across the board, I think everybody really, you've done a really outstanding job this year as captain for the club. So.
Thank you. But yeah, as I said, I still remember my first training, because I live on the Gold Coast, so I trek up every day. And I work up here, so I'm up here every day. But yeah, I remember my first training. I came to the club. I played there when I was younger for school. That's how I remember it. Like I played. No. I played at the club. I didn't play for the club. I played all my junior rugby on the Gold Coast, but I played St. Lawrence there, just for I think it was like. Yeah, I've played at Chipsy before, so I think I played there on a Thursday night against Billy. Funny enough, I think he was playing as well that game.
Oh, really?
I don't think there was footage, but it was that night. It was before we went on a New Zealand tour. But yeah, I've played there before. That's how I knew the club.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember going there for my first day. I think it was a Tuesday night or Monday night, and Garrick hands me this 4XL training shirt, because there's no extra larges. I go in there, meet the boys. I obviously don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I cracked on with Jackson quite well, because he played in New Zealand as well for a little bit.
Okay.
So he knew people I knew, so that helped out. But yeah, when he said I was going to be captain, I just said, mate, I don't know anyone. I feel bad. There's been people who've played 100 games here, and they've never had the opportunity to captain the team. And he said, mate, just give it a couple of weeks, have a think about it, and we'll give it a crack. But yeah, obviously build relationships, and I built relationships with people. And yeah, I think the first game that I was named captain, I played here actually against Bond University.
Yeah, it's sort of a good. And I think that's probably when I started to believe.
Yeah.
I was still a bit unsure, but then I think seeing you in that game, like I said, okay, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I think I needed a couple more games to solidify me visualising you as a captain. But yeah, that game was a kind of a changer for me.
Yeah. Well, that was only a pre-season game, and I think that was my first game back yeah, that was our first game as a team. So yeah, we played Bond University here, and yeah, like to lead the boys out at that situation was obviously cool. But I knew it was a preseason game, so like,
It still counts.
yeah, it still counts exactly. But
It still counts, and I think it's just the game of all eyes on you.
yeah, all eyes were on me, and I think people in the club that were there watching me were probably like, "Who's this captain?
Yeah.
Like, who's this guy?" Because yeah, no one knew me, and the only people I knew were the people who went to Downlands.
Yeah.
So obviously I knew Regan quite well. I knew Viliami, but he was gone because I played Queensland with him. But yeah, Regan was the only one I knew, like, that I was good mates with.
Yeah.
So that helped out a bit. And I was actually his captain at school as well. So he's the only teams he's been in with me, I've been his captain. So, but yeah, I think that first game against Norse, I felt like I'm the captain. Like, this feels good to lead these boys out.
It has been a bit of a journey. Like, what have you noticed? Like, obviously it's your first year at South. What have you enjoyed about the season? So it's been a pretty interesting season.
Yeah, it has. Well, what were we, 8-8? I think before coming to Souths, I actually got asked to play last year by Todd Dammers.
Yeah.
He asked me, but I just said I want to stay and give it one more good crack in New Zealand, which worked out well. But yeah, before coming here, obviously I knew that they didn't have the best record. I think they said they won 7 games in 2 years. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough couple of years.
Yeah.
I was there.
Exactly. Like, the club's been through it, and I've heard so many good comments and like people saying the Premier teams come a long way. And for me, like, I was very happy with the year. But those 8 losses, that's 8 losses.
Yeah.
They sit with you. But like for me, coming into the club knowing nothing about the record, and then finding out about the record, winning those 8 games meant a lot.
Yeah.
And for me personally, winning those 8 games, I was very happy with, because that's 8 games that the club's never won in one season for a long time. So for me, I felt pride in winning those games. Man, I always say Harry MP is God. He's good, mate. He's good. And
that kid since he was 13.
yeah, exactly. And Taj is obviously only played with him twice or once, but that kid can play anywhere in the back line, and he's such a talent. And John Bryant, mate, God.
JB being JB.
And Trevor, I've always said, because I actually had no idea Trevor went to Downlands as well.
Oh, really?
Nah, until I met him. Then I was like, God. But, because he only went there for 2 years as well. But yeah, Trevor, I've always said, like, since I met him the start of the year, I said, yeah, he's going to play professionally wherever he goes.
Yeah, like, I think with the 4 of them in particular, like, obviously I've known Taj and Harry,
From BBC, yeah.
Just filming while they're at BBC, but like meeting Trevor this year, I was excited to meet Trevor.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot of things.
He's a quiet bloke. Yeah.
Similar to you, like like go talk him up.
Yeah, exactly. But you're just like, I don't know the kid, so.
Yeah, no, I'll work that out for myself. But yeah, like he's one of those impact players, absolutely. But I think the thing, but even like with Johnny Bryant, like,
Oh, mate.
this year he's just been on just masterclass.
I know, just all of them. Like, whenever they're playing, I'm just like, it helps out a lot. Like,
Yeah.
if I can do my job, and I know they're doing their job, like, we can go anywhere in this comp.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I've always said, yeah, as I said to you, like, I trust those guys a lot, and the way they play for their age is ridiculous, and I hope they get looked after. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you sound like a captain, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is an interview about you, but you're talking about other people. So,
Man, I'm just
like
boasting my mates. Harry boasted me, mate, so I don't want any boasting.
No, I think that the thing for me is that, like, a captain is a person that leads by example. You've shown that throughout the season, the way you play the game, but also the way you talk about other people and how you try and lift them up, because it's important to have those qualities in order to grow a club.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, you've got goals. Like,
Yeah.
What are some of your goals that you'd like to achieve over the next 5 years?
I just, like, for me at the moment, my main goal is to play the President's XV against the Reds development. I think that's soon. Like, if I can put my foot in the door for that team, that'll be awesome. But obviously, one of my main goals was to play Super Rugby. That's why one of the reasons I moved back.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get an opportunity with any Super Rugby team, I'll be grateful. Like, I don't have one in particular that I want to go to. It's just, for me, playing Super Rugby, putting on any jersey, who is willing to give me an opportunity, I'll be thankful for. And that's one of my main goals at the moment. Haven't really thought past that, but been talking lately with my manager, and he just said, mate, if you can get an opportunity anywhere, just take both hands and just go with it. So
yeah, I don't have any doubt you play professionally, bro,
Yeah.
because you've got that similar to Harry. Like, when I saw something in Harry, like when I saw Harry, in 2017. I think,
Yeah. Got to have been young there.
13. Like, I went back to tell my wife about this kid. Like, I reluctantly took that job to go film it,
Yeah.
because they asked me to do it.
Yeah, just to have a look.
But I really wanted to go film the first 15 play that afternoon, but I didn't have time to do that, unfortunately. But I filmed that
The
game.
Harry,
But
yeah.
I walked out, and it's funny because Lincoln, Kedell Reese,
Yeah.
boys, those three boys in particular stood out to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're playing at South gets a full circle,
It's awesome to see. Like,
it's
yeah.
awesome. Like as a proud South supporter, I guess I found out all three of them were coming. I was so happy.
How good.
But in particular, Harry.
Yeah.
Harry's that player that sort of like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, he's a very humble kid, and I think that's probably his best trait.
And that's the thing that I'm sort of like, when I sort of brought up Harry's, it reminds me a lot of, you've got a lot of similar traits in the way that you approach the game. Like, yeah, fair enough, there's other players out there that, that are ahead of you, but you've got that thing that you just can't teach people, that hunger.
Yeah.
As long as you've got that hunger.
Yeah, I think, like, I've had so many coaches, like, ask me, like, what makes you different, and I never have an answer, because I just like to, I don't know, I've just never had an answer for that question, unfortunately, but I just say, let me play, and then you can watch me and see what I can do. But I've never been like the type of person when I play, like, flashy skills. Maybe done a couple kicks this year, unfortunately. I don't know why I did it, but I just did it. But yeah, yeah, exactly.
If you pulled it off, you'd be even better.
God, I wish I did, man. But I've always thought, like, my work rate in the game has probably been my best trait, and like, I'm not the fittest bloke. Like, if you put me on a fitness test, I'd probably get smoked by a lot of people, but when it comes to an 80-minute rugby game, I can play that easily, which is the funny part. But yeah, like, for South this year, I just wanted to come back here and just prove that I am good enough to play at the next level.
Yeah, well, you gained a fan, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. And
not just me, but like, there's a lot of people out there that sort of like have sort of seen your leadership this year, and the way it's sort of like make this pro a fair bit. So it's very exciting. So obviously, being able to get a Super Rugby contract is a high priority on all this.
Yeah.
What if that doesn't happen? What happens from there?
Oh man, like, I've always said, like, if it doesn't happen, I'm just going to keep playing rugby. Like, rugby has been a part of my life since I was born. So I guess, like, I didn't play rugby at the start to become a professional rugby player. Like, I played it because I love it. And I think if none of my goals come true, I'll obviously die trying. But if none of that comes true, I'm just going to keep playing. Like, for me, footy is the thing that, makes me excited on Saturday. We're just watching footy, playing footy. And if none of my dreams come true, I'm still going to keep playing it. So that's obviously a goal of mine, is to play professional. But if it never happens, I still love the game enough to play anything, social, whatever it be.
Cool. Bro.
All good.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.